It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oh, yes, it is. The stores are decorated and a few towns are already bright lit with Christmas trees. It's also beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. Christmas breeze a blow, the nights are chilly. On today's show, we get you prepared for the season. We journey to one of the best escapes as the season is better with a getaway. Also on the Yuletide preparation list, where to get unique accent pieces for your home to have your guests feeling comfortable. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us. The magazine unfolds right now.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come here. Take time running. Because we ready for the ops. Drive up on your block. Step out now me block. Cyber take about your laptop. Pull up every lock. No evidence to drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underlock. Sin you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Feel say you get wet, look out for. Look out for. Look out for. From you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Feel say you get wet, look out for. Look out for. Look out for.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
MOCA. MOCA.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, December 11. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has instructed Cabinet to establish codes of conduct for government ministers with immediate effect. This will see ministers meeting twice per year with the boards under their jurisdiction to review policies. Ministers must also hold quarterly meetings with board chairmen, review minutes and activities of the board, and make plans for the upcoming quarter. The instructions were issued on Monday during a press briefing called by Prime Minister Holness at his office.
The quarterly meeting is more to enshrine the process of interrogation of administration. And the biannual meeting is to ensure that the boards are focused on policy. So this is a mechanism for evaluation.
The Prime Minister says while the mandates are not the standard procedure for ministers, moving forward, they must function in this regard.
It is going to mean more work, but we have to become smarter in how we do our work, employ technology, restructure business process, re-engineering of our business processes to ensure that we maximize our time.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says there are no immediate plans to divest the government-owned oil refinery, Petrojam. He says a report being put together by the Petrojam Review Commission will provide the administration with recommendations on the best approach for managing the entity.
The policy of the government is to have full utilization of national assets. So if Petrojam is not fully utilized in government ownership, then the policy of the government is that it should be put in a position that be done. The policy of the government is one of wealth creation. So as far as possible that we have these assets, we should seek to have the ownership shared with the public. Not just private sector entity, but we should seek to have our stock market expanded, to have democratic ownership, if you want to put it that way.
Prime Minister Holness says due diligence will be given to the process if and when a ruling to divest the entity is made. However, he cautions that the ongoing process of purchasing Venezuela's shares in Petrojam also affects any decision to divest the entity. And giving an update on the Venezuela agreement, Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says negotiations have been moving at a slow pace.
Since there has been some stability in the discussion, since the formal offer has been made, there has still been a great deal of, let us say, there's not been alacrity. There is no deep desire on behalf of Venezuela or on PDVSA to sell. And this has made it quite challenging for the negotiation to proceed in a way that meets Jamaica's needs.
Minister Johnson Smith says while the government has been making progress in the negotiation, geopolitical changes that are outside Jamaica's control can influence the process negatively. She emphasizes that an amicable agreement may not be feasible and government may have to explore other opportunities to protect the country's energy security.
We will update in due course. The discussions do continue, correspondence continues. I continue to meet with not only the members of management of Petrojam, the review commission of the board, the review commission, as well as to be in touch with the board through the chairman to ensure that there are no shifting plate tectonics which may affect the negotiations.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says he will continue ministerial oversight of the energy portfolio to protect agreements and negotiations being undertaken by that office. These include energy agreements signed with Mexico, Spain, and the United States since the start of the year.
Because of the delicate nature of the negotiations now, it really needs that kind of direction to keep it on track.
The amended Road Traffic Act has been passed in the Senate. The bill, which was piloted by Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Kamina Johnson-Smith, received approval last Friday. In arguing for the legislation, Senator Johnson-Smith said too many lives had been lost due to bad road practices.
These bad practices have been continued because of the failure of the legislative framework to provide for an enforcement mechanism to make undisciplined road users accountable for their actions. At some point, we have to take hold of this culture of indiscipline in Jamaica.
The new law will introduce heavier fines and penalties for breaching the road code, such as driving without a license, permit, or required insurance coverage. Stronger fines are also introduced for exceeding speed limits, loud noises, and failure to wear protective helmet, as well as failure to comply with traffic signs or to stop at pedestrian crossings. Having now been passed by both Houses of Parliament, the long-awaited legislation will next go to the Governor-General to be signed into law. Early childhood practitioners will no longer be required to pay for certain government documents. The news was revealed by Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator Ruel Reid, at Wednesday's post-Cabinet press briefing.
Cabinet has granted approval for all practitioners at the early child level, registered with the Early Child Commission and working with early child institutions to be exempt from paying for police records, medical records, and food handlers permit.
He says the Ministries of Education, Health and National Security will absorb the relevant fees in their budgets.
The Early Child Commission will monitor and verify only those approved practitioners to be exempted from payment. They will still be required, however, to get annual renewals to be fully compliant with the requisite legislation and to operate within the Commission's operational standards.
And finally, 4 days of celebration to honor the Reggae Girls' historic qualification to the FIFA Women's World Cup finals has been announced. It includes motorcades across sections of the island on December 15, a Thanksgiving concert at Emancipation Park on December 16, a special reception to be hosted by the Prime Minister on December 17, and a fun day for the girls on December 18. The celebration is being organized by the Ministry of Sport.
I want them to feel very special. And so we're going to be doing a lot of things to have them have a fantastic time.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet.
The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Up next, the whereabouts and activities of Prime Minister Andrew Holness during the past week.
Prime Minister welcomes impactful decisions at CARICOM CSME meeting, gets first-hand view of detention centres under enhanced security measures, and promises action on report into the operations at Petrojam. You're tuned into Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Stay with us. Having pledged to move from talk to action, CARICOM Chairman Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his counterparts made concrete steps to move the region forward this past week. Following their December 3 and 4 meeting in Trinidad and Tobago, the grouping signed the St. Anne's Declaration on the CARICOM Single Market and Economy CSME. In it, a plan to implement the CSME within the next 3 years, to welcome Haiti's full integration into the CSME by 2020, as well as the convening of a meeting on air and maritime transportation.
We have agreed to expand the categories of skilled workers who are free to move within the CSME space. And this expansion would now include agricultural workers, security guards, beauticians, and barbers. These are positive developments for our people and matters which we have been championing for some time.
And Professor Avinash Prasad has been appointed to lead a 10-member restructured commission on the economy to advise member states on a growth agenda for the community. Back in Jamaica Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness promised to act on the findings and recommendations of the Auditor General's report into operations at Petrojam. While thanking the Auditor General for the comprehensive report, Mr. Holness said many of the recommendations had already been acted upon since he'd assumed oversight for energy earlier this year.
There's still more issues that she has raised, which I will obviously have to address. For example, what has caught my eye of great interest is the issue with the pricing. That is something that we will have to take a very serious look at. Issues to do with the infrugality of the use of public resources, that has to also be addressed. I believe that you could say that this is a watershed moment for transparency and accountability in Jamaica.
Wednesday also saw the Prime Minister visiting 16 families who were burnt out of their homes at Bell Rock off Olympic Way on November 28. Mr. Holness, who is Member of Parliament for the area, assured the displaced residents that he would assist them to rebuild their homes. The Prime Minister said he had received a report into the FAR and funds had been set aside to start the rebuilding process.
The area deserves attention. We'll start as quickly as possible. We will have to actually design the units, get approvals. I have to get NWC inside here to put in the sewage. The planning process will take a month or two. It will take a little time. I don't want to give you any false hope that you could be in your new house for December 25th. That's not going to be possible. Okay. But we're going to move very quickly.
On Thursday, Prime Minister Holness held his annual Christmas treat for senior citizens on the lawns of Jamaica House. Over 400 seniors from various homes for the elderly were treated.
So far, we have seen facilities that are, I would say, generally up to standard, but clearly we could and should do more to improve the standard. So the objective of my visit is to see what else we could do to improve conditions.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness's assessment of detention centres under the zones of special operations and states of emergencies. Saturday's tour covered centres holding detainees from Kingston, Montego Bay and Spanish Town.
What we have seen here, from looking at all the reports that have gone so far, both here and in Mount Salem, is that the zones of special operation is working. it is a good strategy. We have never built it as a complete strategy to the problem, but it is indeed one critical element of a larger strategy.
And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Tis the season for home renovation and decoration, prepping the personal space for family and friends. Right here in Jamaica, several local artisans have designed the perfect interior accents for your kitchen, dining area, bedrooms, and other sections of your home. Feast on this.
For your household furnishing and decorative pieces, local artisans can fulfill your desires. From the bedroom to the dining area, your entertainment room, and even your walls. Exquisitely designed pieces that will make your guests wish they could stay.
As part of our local economic development support program, we host a number of business fairs. Today we're having a furniture fair where we're trying to showcase those businesses that deal with the crafts from the downtown area. If you travel along Harbour Street downtown, you will notice a number of furniture stores with different things on the sidewalk. And we consider a number of those products to be of high standard. A standard that you will get in any stores that you will go in and around downtown as well as uptown. So we wanted to bring into Emancipation Park those products of persons who are in homes and in businesses to see what we have to offer, the indigenous skills and craft from Jamaica.
The exhibits here are actually really lovely today. Like especially the natural, I think it's a natural furniture place. They actually have some really nice stuff on display.
I believe in nature taking the dominant role in everything we do. So I want to highlight the beauty of nature, and that's why I go for stuff that look the way nature presents it already. Anything you can conceptualize, I try to bring it to life. I do door, countertops, accent wall, the whole decor pieces. It's a nice coffee table, two cedar limb, I put them together with a resin inlay. So I pour the epoxy called liquid glass. Yeah, I love to work with that to create the binding, but it also comes with a lighting underneath it to really illuminate the whole thing in the night. Another piece of the same cedar tree. If you notice how the termite heat it out, but I treat them to ensure that nobody have termite in their home. However, it's the termite in it that causes the different looks, the rotten area. They heat it out, but when you put a finished touch to it, it's gonna come out beautiful. So my beauty is what you consider to be ugly and distorted. I just bring a little beauty touch to it. This is actually is a dinner table for about 3 or 4 chairs. Put a little piece of nature to it. So it comes with a wood root of a orange tree, and it's also a guango base and a guango top. These wall pieces are what a Jamaican famous wood called logwood. Growing up in the country, I always love it, so I bring some little touch to it to finish them, but it's all natural.
Uniwicker has been around for over 25 years. We manufacture wicker, rattan, and we also do fully upholstered furniture. The wicker industry right now, the importation is giving us a beating right now, to be honest. Right? So customers are normally going for the plastic furniture, but we're coming to durability. The wicker is the way to go. So we'll normally recommend, and we're saying to the customers, the plastic furniture normally ends back up to me because it cannot take the rain and it cannot take the sun. So it comes back to me to cut it off and put on the wicker.
I did look at some of the furnitures and things, and it looked nice, looked interesting.
We sell furniture, mainly beddings and living room items. Once it's made from wood, we make it. What we have here on display now are made from Maho. That's the national wood. Purchase of Maho from the people who cut it. You can purchase from the forestry department. We use the Maho, we use the Spanish elm, cedar, and mahogany. Those are what we mainly use. They are more comfortable working with, and they give you a proper finish, lasting, life-lasting products you get from them.
I think this is a great event, and STC should really look into having a monthly booth like this.
We started 28 years ago, believe it or not. We cater to hotels, villas, private people, doing furnishings with Jamaican bamboo, totally Jamaican products, all handmade. And we use the internet to market and a website, Facebook. And we've been in a few shops, but at the moment we aren't in any shops, we're just in online. I was showing you our bath rack earlier, and we do pendant lamps, cluster lamps, every type of lamp you can think of, ladders, shop fixtures for hanging clothes, displaying shoes, as well as your regular furniture, bedside tables. Bamboo itself is one of the most environmentally friendly plants, so by cutting bamboo down, you're increasing the growth of bamboo and takes out carbon dioxide out of the air, and it's good for the environment. Plus, it's a very strong material, so it's very durable, and in places like by the sea, it doesn't rust. So we use bamboo dowels, no nails and things like that, so no rusting. We also create very comfortable designs. So everything is designed for luxury, comfort, put your legs up, get back,
I saw this piece from a mile. It's like a city. Looks like a city, you can see. The buildings, the road, some of the other buildings. But I want it for my studio. And it represents like naturalness. So I'm gonna put these pieces in my studio.
I have on display abstract pieces. Abstract pieces on canvas, paper, and PVC. The colors here today are based on PVC material, canvas, as well as paper. And there are colors inspired by people around me, my family, my son, my wife. So yeah, they are bright colors.
Buy local, because we have tremendous products locally, and when we buy local, we provide the bread for more than one of us. So we need to grow our economy, and the best way to grow our economy is to buy local.
As we observe International Mountain Day, we implore you to know your homeland's peaks. This Christmas period could be the right time to take an adventure with a family to one of the country's peaks. Next, a fun day idea inside Jamaica's World Heritage Site.
Imagine a tour on which you'll eat till you're full, dining against the backdrop of the blue hues of the mountains, sipping authentic Blue Mountain coffee. Sounds appealing? Then you must, if only once, venture on the Jamaica Blue Mountain Culinary Trail. The Ministry of Tourism has embarked on a gastronomic mission to promote Jamaica as a culinary destination. This is the main aim of the Gastronomy Network, one of 5 networks established recently by the ministry. The first product of the Gastronomy Network was the implementation of the Jamaica Blue Mountain Culinary Trail. This is a tour of eateries and attractions nestled within the UNESCO-designated World Heritage Site of Jamaica's Blue Mountains. Whether you take the Eastern or Western Trail, you'll have access to at least 15 participating venues.
Gastronomy, or food tourism, as people commonly refer to it across the world, represents 88% of the reason that people travel. Therefore, we'll be responsive to the palates of the world. What we have to do is to prepare it a little differently, present it a little more appealing, and to move it from basic street food to the highest level of gourmet.
Wet the palate with hors d'oeuvres, dip into Strawberry Hill Restaurant's coffee ice cream, or drink coffee at a more than a century-old farm.
From Colombia, we also say Colombia's coffee is really good and we're really proud about it. So it was really interesting to hear the Jamaican perspective of their own coffee. The coffee was delicious and it's really amazing to be able to have a cup of coffee, look into the mountains and just like enjoy. So the coffee was definitely the highlight for me today.
Jamaicans talk about how great our coffee is, but I don't think we have any idea why. And that's what I learned today. It was phenomenal.
Vegetarians, meat lovers, those into traditional cuisine, or Jamaican fusion meals, there's a bite for every appetite. The Jamaica Blue Mountain Culinary Trail provides a getaway for nature buffs and foodies, wrapped up in one journey. The tour stops at about 4 restaurants, each boasting a historic or cultural backdrop. After dining, there lies an opportunity to walk off the food with the Accompong Maroon Drummers.
Our aim is to preserve the integrity and uniqueness of the region. The beauty, diversity, and sheer magnificence of the region is unparalleled.
The Ministry of Tourism has identified gastronomy tourism as a medium for diversifying destination Jamaica. Through the Tourism Linkages Network, the Gastronomy Network is offering locals and visitors a tasty treat of the Jamaica Blue Mountains. To plan your own food trail inside the mountains, contact the Gastronomy Network. They're located at the Jamaica Tourism Center, 64 Knutsford Boulevard, New Kingston, or call them at 920-4926-30.
We're taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
Jamaica advances the new face of justice with the opening of the expanded Court of Appeal downtown Kingston on Wednesday, December 12, 2018.
This is the final phases of the new Court of Appeal building, because at the moment we are giving Jamaica a first-class justice system that it deserves. This is the new face of justice, a new experience for the people of Jamaica.
One justice.
Let's work together.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
Thanks for hanging with us today. Please visit our social media pages so you can remain in the know while we're off screen. Click on any one of these handles displayed and you may find us there. Or send us an email if you have a comment or question. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.